Hey YouTube, what's up? It's not that Kevin Smith, and today I just got back from seeing the new Power Rangers movie, and we're gonna talk about it. And before I begin, let me just say that this video is sponsored by Krispy Kreme. Just kidding, no it's not. But this video is sponsored by Krispy Kreme. Now I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, Kevin, you're a little too old for Power Rangers, aren't you? And yes, I am. But who gives a shit? I'm gonna try to keep this spoiler free for the most part. If I do drop some spoilers, I'll give a little warning. Let's start off with the cast. I thought they did a great job casting the characters in this film, and especially the Blue Power Ranger, RJ Seiler. I thought he did a fantastic job. In the way that they cast all the characters, they had people from all different backgrounds. I thought that was kind of cool. And from the beginning of it, I know it's probably been said in a lot of reviews, but like from one of the first scenes when the characters are going into their Saturday detention, it felt like the Breakfast Club, and the different characters, it felt very much like Power Rangers and Breakfast Club had a little baby for the first part of the movie. Throughout this film, there are many references to Krispy Kreme, and you know what? I don't care if that helped the movie get made. I'm fine with it. The story I thought was fantastic throughout. It was very much like the teenage, outcast type people come together and they find they're thrown into this situation where they have to become Power Rangers. And if you're a hardcore Power Rangers fan like my buddy Drew, I think you're gonna enjoy this film. I don't know if you're gonna sing praises about it, but you're gonna be satisfied. The thing I liked about this film is it had a PG-13 rating, and it had to appeal to the younger audience, but they were still able, I think, to appeal to the older generations that went to the film. And even if it's parents bringing their kids, I think the parents will be able to enjoy some of the humor behind it. There's plenty of jokes that the younger kids might not be able to understand, including one about jerking off a cow. Go see this movie. And I thought this movie was like a nice, well-rounded film. It had comedy. It had a nice storyline. It had emotional points during this film where I'm sitting there and I'm like, Kevin, you're a grown man sitting in a theater watching fucking Power Rangers. If you cry, you're not going to live this down. Krispy Kreme. The film starts out with a flashback type thing of Bryan Cranston's character Zordon being defeated by Rita, this mean green lady. Now the first 2/3 of this film, it's the characters kind of just figuring out each other, and not so much they're not Power Rangers for the first 2/3 of the film. They're trying to discover their powers and learn how to morph. I think that's something we all go through. I still don't know how to morph. That's why I just bought this dang t-shirt. So if you're going into this film expecting to see just 90 minutes of just hardcore Power Ranger action, you're gonna let yourself down. But I think that the first 2/3 of this film was very well done, and it created a story, it created an emotional attachment to these characters, and it made me become emotionally invested in them. And even though I went into this, I wanted to see a Power Rangers movie, but honestly, these characters were interesting enough outside of being Power Rangers that I wouldn't have minded having a 90-minute film about these group of children, and I'm sure no one will agree with that, but you know what? Screw them. Now the final third of the movie is when the action really starts picking up, and where these characters are finally able to channel their inner Power Rangers and become them, and it's pretty badass. Sure, it's all CGI shit, but first off, what do you expect? You think fucking movie people are gonna go make real Power Rangers? No, because if they had real Power Rangers, I would have been in the film. But those scenes with the characters in their Power Ranger suits, they were very well done. They looked really good. They were fun and like the cheesy Power Ranger beating shit up. And it was just a good time. It was fun to kind of to go back and channel your childhood of these characters on your TV screen beating shit up, and that's what they're doing in this movie. So I think if you're not happy with the whole movie overall, I think you'll enjoy at least that part of it, seeing the Power Rangers do what they do best and destroy bad shit. Now, the ending of the film kind of seemed rushed to me, but I like I said, I don't mind it. I think the first like two-thirds of the film, it took a long time setting it up, and it did kind of get stale at some points, but it would have been cool to see more time with the Zords, and like the Megazord especially. But I guess we get that to look forward to in future films if that comes out, hopefully. And they do hint at a future film and a future character that you gotta stick around and watch through the initial credits. But let's go see what my buddy Drew, the resident Power Rangers nerd and fanboy, had to say about this film.
I've been a fan of Power Rangers all my life, ever since Mighty Morphin. The new 2017 movie definitely did the series justice. Giving it the PG-13 rating was a good call. It let your modern teenagers with attitude explore problems and feelings with youth today encounter. It made the heroes relatable and the villain creepy. I would have loved more screen time with the Rangers kicking ass in their costumes, but the extra giant robot scenes made it okay. Who doesn't love giant robots? The movie was solid and introduced a key character for a sequel at the end. I hope they get to make it, because I'd love to see this world expand. Remember, it's MORPHIN TIME!
Wow, Drew, great insight. Now that's coming from Drew, like I said, a hardcore nerd. Look, there's this picture of him here. That's him with Jason David Frank. He pretty much, he has that glued to his wall. He probably jerks off to it. But if someone like Drew enjoyed it, a hardcore Power Rangers fan, I think that most of the Power Rangers fans, they're gonna enjoy it too, unless they're one of like the basement dwelling like fucking neck-bearded pricks that hate everything because they just like to be miserable. Hey, how about you enjoy something that didn't have to be made, and guess what, you don't have to watch it. So if you do watch it and you don't like it, you never have to see it again. Just be happy they created something that wasn't shit, because it was far from shit. I thought it was fantastic. So I'm sorry if this review's jumpy. This is like the first one, like film review I've done, and it's really late because I went to the premiere showing, so everything's not all there. So feel free to call me out on shit I missed in the comments down below. But overall, I think I'd give this film an 8 out of 10, and I know that's high. Ooh, almost threw up. I know that's a high score, but I really enjoyed this film. I didn't go into it expecting a lot, but I was honestly, like, I was having fun watching the film. It had a lot of really, really strong points. It had a strong story. It had a lot of humor built in, which I love. And it had kick-ass Power Ranger scenes. I would have given this a higher score, but they didn't contact me to be in the film, so I hold a little bit of a grudge. But it was a really good movie if you go into it just expecting to have a good time. But I think that's going to be it for this mini review. I know it's not full. It probably doesn't have a lot of nice juicy meat, but I'm new to the movie commentating, reviewing sphere. I have no idea what I'm doing. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If not, thanks for watching this far anyways. Before I go, let me just say, go to your nearest Krispy Kreme and buy some Krispy Kreme from Krispy Kreme. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you again next time. Feel the urge to yell, it's morphin' time, but I'd probably wake up some people, and that wouldn't be very cool.